I'm Damon Maloney, your Cuyahoga County reporter.
Sports Sunday is sponsored by the personal injury attorneys at Slater & Zers.
Cleveland has met the moment in Detroit. Basketball's best Game 7 squad has done it again. Welcome into Sports Sunday. I'm John Doss. The Cavaliers entered Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals in Detroit, winners of an NBA best 5 consecutive Game 7s, but a 6th in a row would be rare. Just 26% of road teams all time have won a Game 7. So what was going to give? Turns out it was Detroit's defense. A Pistons team that had smothered Cleveland for much of this series finally gave way, and the Cavs dominated from the jump. A Cleveland team that oftentimes in this series looked overmatched on offense, dictated for 48 minutes. Donovan Mitchell was the game's biggest star, but Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, and yes, Sam Merrill all go for 21 plus, and Cleveland held down the limited Pistons offense. Detroit shot under 40% from the field, and it was a domination in Detroit. The Cavs beat the Pistons. Cleveland wins its 6th straight Game 7. The Cavs are headed back to the conference finals for the first time since 2018.
You know, and everybody says, oh, it doesn't mean that. No, it does mean something. I think it does. I think this was just the next step for us. You know, first day of training camp, I put up our playoff record over the last 3 years, 11-15. You know, I've been saying all year we have a lot to prove. We still have more to prove. That's kind of the next part of it. But we proved something to ourselves that we could take that, you know, another step.
Yeah, the turnaround will be quick for Kenny Atkinson's squad. Cleveland heads to New York Tuesday night to take on the Knicks in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. And with that, we bring in Cameron Justice, who is live from Detroit. Cam, I know where they stick visiting media at Little Caesars Arena, but even from the roof, you could see a dominant Cavs performance tonight.
Yeah, I'm readjusting to life down here on the ground. The gondola seating is really high up there. Listen, the Cavaliers went into this game knowing they had to be the aggressors. They said it after their Game 6 loss. They knew they had to punch first, swing first, hit first, and that's exactly what they did. The Cavs putting their foot on the gas and keeping it there the whole way. That lead, it was an absolute blowout lead. And the Cavs played in dominant fashion on both sides of the floor. This is exactly the kind of game that the Cavs knew that they needed to make, a statement game that had the entire team really operating on all cylinders. You saw an explosive offense, a lot of ball movement, and you saw that in the assists that this team was able to create. You saw role players coming off the bench and scoring, creating sparks everywhere around this game, and that's exactly what the Cavs have to do. They don't really have a descriptive identity. Their identity is when all of their players can become their true selves and play their individual identities. We saw it in games 3 and 4, and we saw it here again on the floor. That's what it's going to take for this Cavs team to find success, is just being themselves as individual players and getting the most out of each guy that takes the court.
Yeah, Cam, we also saw Donovan Mitchell as the best player on the floor, and Donovan will be the first to tell you games 5 and 6 he didn't play very well. When it was on the line, Game 7, Donovan Mitchell was the superstar that Cleveland needed him to be. He's headed to the conference finals for the first time in his career.
And what better place to do it than back home in New York? I think this one probably means a little bit more to him, but Donovan Mitchell was exactly the player they need. Kenny Atkinson, after this game, called him the beacon of this team. The guys lean on Donovan Mitchell, and for him to put up the performance he did, get those assists, really facilitate the offense, that's exactly how the Cavs won this game, was Donovan Mitchell being Donovan Mitchell.
And could you imagine a better storyline 3 years ago where this narrative finally took shape, or first took shape, that the Cavaliers couldn't win big games like this? And who are they going to go face? The Knicks at Madison Square Garden. She's Cameron Justice. She's going to head back into the Cavaliers locker room. Thank you, Cameron. Coming up in the show, we will take you to the locker room. Plus, we'll hear at the podium from the game's other biggest star. Yes, Donovan Mitchell was great. So too was Sam Merrill. Next on Sports Sunday. Clevelanders will speak fondly of Game 7 Merrill for years to come. Sam Merrill, 23 points, 5 of 8 from 3 in a Game 7 clinching win. Here's Sam from the podium in Detroit moments ago.
So my rookie year when I was in Milwaukee, that was the KD foot on the line game. And I was on the opposite baseline. So when he made that shot, I thought it was a 3. So I thought we were done. And, you know, to win a game like that, like those are, and then, you know, here, win a game like this, like these are some of the best moments you can have. And it's a lot of fun. Like we got such a good group, such a resilient group. And, you know, we have a lot more that we want to achieve, but you can't take a moment like this for granted.
Obviously, it's a team, it's a group, but, you know, Donovan Mitchell has made it known how much he wanted to get past this, you know, second round. And what can you say about his performance tonight, and just how meaningful is that for you to see him get to that conference finals for the first time?
Donovan is someone that, you know, it's hard to describe like what Donovan means to me. I remember when I was in the G League with the Charge, there was one time where, you know, we would go after them. So one time I was out there early shooting, they had finished, and so I was just sitting on the side, and he was sitting there, and he came up, and, you know, we talked, and we had known each other from the Utah days. But
the Cavaliers a 125-94 winner over Detroit here in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. Professional transition there by Sam Merrill, because we're going to go back to Little Caesars Arena to hear Donovan Mitchell live following this Game 7 win.
But this is the first time that you have gotten to the conference finals. For you, what does this mean?
A breath of fresh air, but like you said, we didn't just come here that wasn't the goal when we started the season. Even last year, like when we lost Indiana, we had our goals set on getting to the finals, and we're just one step closer. But yeah, it's been almost a decade of running into the same issue, right? Like, you know what I mean? So for sure, I personally and as a team, we can breathe a little bit, but in the same token, we can only breathe for about 12 hours and then get right back to it. So it's a balance. It's a blessing. God is good. I wouldn't be here without my teammates, but we got work to do coming up for sure.
Hey, Jarrett. Kenny said that he had dinner last night with Dan Gilbert, and one of the things that Dan said was that you are the spark for this team. Mm-hmm. When you hear that coming from the guy who runs the organization,
right,
what does that mean to you, and what goes through your head?
It means a lot that the whole organization, even from top to bottom, has that level of trust in me. And he sent me a message before the game as well, just stating how important, how much of an impact that he believes that I can have on this game and this whole series. And it's motivating, you know, especially when somebody like that, with that stature, has that confidence in me, and it gives me that extra push.
Big game for Jared Allen
Donovan,
tonight in Game 7 as well. 23 points from the big man on 8 of 14 from the field, also 7 rebounds. Big tone setter for the Cavs in this Game 7 win. All right, the Cavs are on to the Eastern Conference Finals, where they'll take on the Knicks. More coming up here on Sports Sunday. The Guardians setting the tone early for Cleveland's offensive outbursts. A home run derby breaking out in downtown Cleveland. Next on Sports Sunday.
I'm your Lorain County reporter, Catherine Ross.
Well, talk about wrapping up rivalry week with a bang for the Cleveland Guardians. After splitting their first 2 games against the Cincinnati Reds in the Ohio Cup, Sunday they went out in style. 6 home runs, the most at Progressive Field since 2013, the most in a game for the Guardians since 2019. 5 players getting in on the fun en route to a 10-3 series victory.
I mean, all of them were awesome. They all came at huge times. It's such a huge momentum, you know, burst for us to get through the game and not have to use leverage guys, and just a fun day all around.
Of course, when you take on the Reds and you see Terry Francona in the Cincinnati dugout, you start to think about 2016, which is exactly what the Guardians celebrated, welcoming back the American League champions 10 years later.
Hard to believe it's been 10 years, is it?
How's it feel to be back, seeing all these familiar faces?
I mean, it's fun. It's to come back and actually get a hug and hang out, reminisce, and go over, but just be around the guys who became your brothers and the closest friends you've ever had for a long time.
Memories immediately go back to the good memories, the victories and the celebrations we had here.
To hear it from out here, how important you guys were and are to all of us.
It's a chapter of my career that holds a special place. Not as special as it could have been, but Yeah, I think it was something that I, generally speaking, look back on with fond memories.
They're a special group, and they always will be. They played the game right. They played hard. They were selfless. You know, they put the team, all the things you talk about on day one of spring training, they lived it out, and it made it really fun.
A busy week for the Guardians both on and off the field as Stephen Kwan hosted his second annual charity chess event. For the second straight year, Guardians outfielder Stephen Kwan hosted his Check on Your Mate chess tournament.
Yeah, I think it's an amazing game and very blessed that they even spent the time to come here. Blending the two loves that I have, I think is really special.
A game that can be enjoyed by any age.
I already won. No, you don't. You made a legal move the first move.
And pro sports background.
Looked pretty competitive, though. It was very competitive.
It really lets the guard down for us and the kids. We get to see them in their natural habitat.
I'll be prepping for college.
Can't believe you're going to college already, bro. Make me feel old.
The banter that you get from that is unbelievable.
Wave bye to your look. You gotta wave bye to it.
But competition is only half of it. Conversation around mental health is what Kwan hopes to continue to promote.
I think it's a little unpopular at times to, seek help, admit that you're having a tough time with things, and to be able to maybe lower that stigma a little bit, make it a little more normalized. That's all we're trying to accomplish with that.
Even if you're a professional athlete or just a kid, you can always
Life is hard, baseball's hard, chess is hard, all these things are really, really hard. But if you can do it with other people and take a little mini tribe with you along the way, I think it goes a long way.
Coming up next for the Guardians, it is a 4-game road trip for American League Central action. They will head to Comerica Park to take on the Detroit Tigers on Monday. Until then, from Progressive Field, Mason Horodisky, News 5.
All right, and the NFL schedule is out, and for a second year in a row, the Browns largely snubbed in prime time. Next on Sports Sunday. All right, the new NFL schedule is out. No Paris and, well, virtually no primetime for the Browns in 2026. Cleveland will play one night game Thursday night in Week 4 when the Browns host rival Pittsburgh. Aside from that, it's 15 1 p.m. games with a Week 18 game against Cincinnati to be determined. The Browns preseason slate kicks off in mid-August in Chicago. Where else? Right here on News 5. Welcome back into Sports Sunday. By virtue of Toronto's upset over top-seeded Laval, the Cleveland Monsters gained home ice advantage for the AHL North Division Final Series. The Marlies, though, snatched that home ice advantage away following a Game 1 win. The Monsters, though, bouncing back in Game 2 Saturday night. Cleveland a 3-1 winner at Rocket Arena to even the best-of-5 series. At a game apiece, the Monsters now hit the road to Toronto for Games 3 and 4 Wednesday and Friday. Game 5, if necessary, would be back in Cleveland. More congratulations to hand out coming up next on Sports Sunday. Now, this weekend saw history at the historic home of football. First ever girls state flag football championships, and congratulations to the Fighting Denzel Wards of Nordonia, taking home the title. First ever championship. Congratulations to those ladies out there at the Benson Hall of Fame Stadium in Kenton. All right, so the Cavaliers have won Game 7. They're heading to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 2018, and the turnaround will be swift. They are heading to New York. Game 1 Tuesday. That'll be on ESPN. Game 2 Thursday. Game 3 Saturday. There is no rest for what will likely be a tired Cavaliers team that has now played 14 playoff games in this 2026 postseason. Maybe they can keep this next series a little shorter in a good way. Thanks for hanging with me on Sports Sunday. Go to bed.